Get over here!
Oh my god, you're going fishing.
I need a break, okay?
Well, I guess Ganondorf ain't going anywhere, so sure, why not?
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, mister. I remember you. It's been a long time. This is like the only person who recognizes you, I feel like.
Maybe you it has.
How many years has it been? 7 years? What have you been doing all this time?
You don't want to know.
You're my only customer. I'm almost out of business. Seriously. On top of that, my hair... never mind. Well, do you want to go fishing? It costs only 20 rupees. Wow! You have a rumble pack. Today you can feel the vibration, young man. Okay, listen up. Walk up to the water's edge and press Z to look at a fish. While looking at a fish, you can cast your line with B. Press A to break the line.
Didn't you explain this to me already 7 years ago?
Yeah, you remember exactly what I said 7 years ago?
Continue.
Well, when the lure drops into the water, you can wiggle it with the control stick. If you're a novice, you can also use B. Reel in your lure with A. Hold down A and R to reel it in faster. If you feel a hit, press A and down to set the hook. After that, reel it in with A. Do you understand? Sorry, I'm just really itchy. I'm so generous, I'll let you fish for as long as you want. However, you can keep only one fish. The biggest fish ever caught here weighed 11 pounds. Oh yeah, that was you, because you're my only customer. After you cast, you can change your view with Z. Let's fish!
Alright.
By the way, have you ever tried throwing your hook over at him?
Oh my god, yeah.
And gotta aim it just right. What? What are you doing to me? Yeah, he mentioned his hair.
Yeah, you can steal his hat. I never knew this until, like, years later playing this game.
Yeah.
Let's, give it back to him.
Hey, what are you doing? I told you not to do that. You're terrible, seriously. Give me back my hat. You're a kind-hearted kid. But don't tell anyone about this. Seriously. As soon as he has his hat back, he's like, hey, you're a good guy.
Freaking, what's going on here? What's his face from Samurai Showdown? You let go of the hat, suddenly he's a demon.
Yeah. No parasol, demon powers.
Hisumaru, I think it was?
Something like that.
Alright. So, what is the target weight for the fish we need to get this golden scale? Because I actually, again, I've never actually managed to get it.
Let me check.
Oh, I think I see it. It's that one over there.
Oh, yeah, that's the Whopper. The High Loach.
I might as well get some practice in.
Yeah, I don't know what the weight is, but I know there's the High Loach, so...
Is it just gonna call it the Hylian Loach?
There's probably a... catch a 13-plus pound fish and present it to the fishing man.
Got it. 9 pounds. Might as well keep it just to keep it out of the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to catch the one over there. Yeah, this is gonna take a little bit of time. There. So, while we are spending some time fishing, do we have any questions or topics we wish to discuss today?
So our friend Pat actually asked a question on the Discord a while back when I was collecting questions about Zelda. I think we're actually going to get this really fast.
Really?
I think we are, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it. So he was saying... let me pull up the exact quote, actually.
Right.
So that I can get it exactly right. Have to scroll past some pictures of Penny the dog. Okay. So I have a coworker who often says new Zelda games aren't mind-blowing. They generally see success just due to the name. If you were to remove the Zelda from it and release the game, no one would be talking about it. I feel there's some truth. Literally, games like Immortals Phoenix Rising released around the same time as Breath of the Wild and was completely shadowed by it. But I don't really see it as a bad thing per se. Just curious what your thoughts on this were.
So, there is a bit of an undeniable, truth to that.
Yeah, if that wasn't true, we wouldn't do franchises. The whole point of a franchise is you can get people onto an intellectual property to buy it based on name recognition.
That being said, this is kind of something that I feel is a credit to Nintendo for how they do their franchises, right? There is a reason why so many of their titles, so many of their franchises, and so many names connected to the Nintendo properties have had the longevity that they've had. Because, maybe you're not going to... some franchises, have been going on as long. But look at Halo, for example.
Yeah.
Halo has brought out, really, really good titles, but eventually... things fell off. You look at Call of Duty. Things eventually fell off. You look at Assassin's Creed. Things kind of eventually fell off. Not the case with Zelda. And I think a lot of that is because not only was, Zelda basically developed as a franchise that built upon the success that it already has, but eventually we see that at the time when they realized, hey, maybe this formula is getting a little stale, they tried something different, and they did it well. So that's kind of how I see it as of right now.
One, Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom, yes, they brought in some fans of old Zelda, but they brought in a lot of new people who were not familiar with Zelda.
Dude,
to say that all those people bought it because it was a Zelda game is disingenuous.
It really is, because, you saw, if you look at, the Twitch numbers and everything, streamers, from people who, have never even touched a Zelda title in the past, suddenly got on board with a Zelda title, and they loved it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, while I do get the idea of I will say this. Maybe there was that chance of, if a title like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom didn't have the Zelda moniker on it, then, yeah, people wouldn't have immediately been on board.
It wouldn't have gotten the initial media attention that it got, because everybody was like, oh my god, new Zelda game, that's always going to get a lot of publicity and journalism.
That said, I do still feel because of the main quality of the game, the main quality of the games themselves and, the boundaries that they pushed, it would have eventually reached a certain level of notoriety that it still would have been a success. I was actually just talking to you about a game that came out recently that has no name tied to it. No, notoriety, no previous franchise, nothing. None of that happened, and it was from a developer that no one really knew about, and they just announced that they sold over 2 million copies worldwide because of the success of the game. It was Expedition 33.
Okay.
The game is a French-developed JRPG that had no previous name to it. And yet, it garnered such a reputation, not just because of the quality of the story, the quality of the writing, but also the quality of the game itself. Suddenly, people are in love with this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. While I do feel that much of the success that Zelda garners with its titles, a lot of that is the initial success because they've built up the reputation with the franchise name to be able to utilize that.
Yeah.
People come for the name. They stay for the quality because Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are still fantastic games.
And it maybe gave, using that name maybe gave Nintendo the confidence to put so much development time into it and to ship so many units and to make it so that so many people would buy this. But yeah, saying that if it wasn't a Zelda game, it wouldn't have seen so much success. yes, it would have less success, because, like, that's why you put a recognizable name on something. But if you think, like, Breath of the Wild is a nothing special game and it's just because it's a Zelda game, like, I have criticisms of Breath of the Wild, sure, but,
oh, yeah. Like, no game is perfect.
But, like, there is something to Breath of the Wild because Nintendo's got their A-team on it, and Nintendo developers, when they're trying their best, do amazing things.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And people are saying, like, oh, it didn't really do anything new. And, like, maybe none of the, like, concepts are on paper, like, the newest thing ever. You know, it's like an open world game with towers and checkpoints and, you know, get all the map markers. But there are people saying, like, oh, Ubisoft's been making these games for years. Like, this is not Assassin's Creed. This is not Far Cry. This feels different. It's more... And it's more approachable to a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to make something, I think, that can have that wide of appeal and still generally be good.
And that's actually one of the other things about Nintendo that I feel is kind of a disingenuous argument to make. I've heard people say that, oh, Nintendo just makes baby games. No, Nintendo makes family games.
In Breath of the Wild, you could just climb anything. That's not something other games were doing. That's not... I don't think there was another game up till that point that gave you such control over how you could traverse without, like, breaking it. And, like, gliding became, like, after Breath of the Wild, like, every open world game started having gliders. Because...
Hi, Genshin Impact!
Yeah, Breath of the Wild didn't invent the glider, but, like... Everybody... But it implemented it, it got the controls just right, it got the gameplay loop just right, that, like, every other person making open world games was like, oh, this is how you do it. That's why the second Horizon game has a glider.
Yup. Man, bite the gosh darn thing!
I played, Horizon Zero Dawn, which
You're
is...
literally right there! Bite the gosh darn thing!
Horizon Zero Dawn was, like, compared a lot to Breath of the Wild, and some people think that it got the short end of the stick, and I think Horizon Zero Dawn is a good game, and, like, of course, graphically it's more impressive, and it has, like, a more ambitious story and stuff like that. You know, it has different design goals than Breath of the Wild, but, like... But, like, no, Breath of the Wild earned its credit.
It really did.
I don't think there's ever been a game that gives you such, like, an anarchic sense of freedom and isn't just a completely broken mess.
Especially, that's actually, like, another thing that, like, has been discussed amongst, like, the gaming community, is that, other developers and other, like, you know, game franchises and companies have expressed that they are jealous of the physics engine that Breath of the Wild developed.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mince words. The physics engine that they managed to make in Breath of the Wild without it becoming a complete and utter broken mess is astonishing.
Yeah. Nintendo's always been really good at, systems and having gameplay systems that interact with each other. That's part of the, like, secret brilliance of the original Super Mario Brothers. Was that, like... Okay, you hit a block, a mushroom comes out, mushrooms move. They're always moving. You need to go get them to get the power-up. You jump on a Koopa Troopa, it becomes a shell. You hit the shell, which usually you do right after you hit the Koopa Troopa because you're bouncing, the shell moves forward. If the shell hits a Goomba, it kills the Goomba. If the shell hits a wall, it bounces back. If it hits a block, the block produces its coin. If it produces a mushroom... If there's a mushroom in that block, the mushroom comes out and starts moving. Other platformers weren't doing this yet. Things didn't interact with each other this way.
Especially, like, when you, like, think back to the fact that, like, when was that game made? 1990?
Like 1987?
Like 1987? Like, something like that, right? Think about the technology that we have today. I'm currently working on a video game, like actually making a video game, and Project Isekai has finally got a programmer. We actually have someone who's actually, like, programming and coding and putting the thing into practice, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, like, to anyone who's ever been, seen a screen of a computer science major, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, coding's a bitch. And the fact that, like, developers were able to make that all that list of things work on a freaking NES is incredible.
There's like and getting that to work and getting it to like run properly and optimizing the code. But also just the idea of like, I think a lot of the people at Nintendo and the culture that they've built and the, notoriety they have to attract talented people is one that comes up with fun ideas and prioritizes what will be fun.
There's a reason why the community gets so unbelievably hype over Smash Brothers, because we've fallen in love with these characters, with these franchises, with these properties. Like, and again, this is not me necessarily, like, touting Nintendo as the greatest thing since sliced bread. I have criticisms of those guys. Like, they are not a perfect company, not by any stretch. But, yeah, no, to say that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would not be successful if it were not for the fact that they had the Legend of Zelda moniker on them, I think is a bit of a disingenuous thought.
So, like, the same way that, like, when you're playing, like, Pac-Man or Galaga or something like that, like, ghosts don't have collision with each other. Like, the scorpions in Pitfall don't interact with the vines. Mm-hmm. Like, the same way that, like, Koopa Troopas could be used to kill Goombas and be used to hit blocks and stuff like that. And I think Breath of the Wild brought a similar sort of, like, domino physics engine into an open world game. And this was already being done to some extent in open world games, Grand Theft Auto and Far Cry and stuff like that. Yeah. But the fact that, like, in Breath of the Wild, and then it's refined in Tears of the Kingdom, you have, like, fire, and fire has rules, and fire burns grass, and when grass burns, it creates updrafts, and you can glide off updrafts. And there's lightning, and lightning has rules, and lightning spreads through water, and lightning is attracted to metal, and it travels through metal. And ice has rules, and ice freezes water, and enemies react to these elements, and some things burn and some things don't burn, and some things float and some things don't float. Mm-hmm. And there's like all of these systems like laced together, and it sounds so stupidly simple when you're saying it, because it's like, yeah, of course grass burns, but like that doesn't happen in a lot of games because that's not what they're prioritizing with their design goals.
Try programming fire burns grass without burning metal in a line of code. Just try that. It's harder than it sounds. And that's also like going into a bit of a thing with like Breath of the Wild as well, in that like, oh well, it's not a perfect system, like it still has all these bugs and all these glitches and everything. What about that? Well, first of all, two things on that one. One, no system is going to be perfect. There's going to be a way to break it in some way, shape, or form. That's just how it be. And two, do you really want to take that away from Breath of the Wild and piss off the speedrunning community?
Yeah.
Speedrunners, like, it's basically speedrunners' jobs to break a game. And there's an artistry to that.
And if there's other open world games that you think deserve more credit or that you like more than Breath of the Wild, that's fine. I think Breath of the Wild has its shortcomings too, but if you think it's just like they're coasting off of the Zelda name, I think you're crazy.
Zelda has built a reputation for a reason. Not because it is the greatest, it is like Nintendo's baby, but because they put in the work, the time, and the effort to actually make genuinely amazing games.
Yeah.
And even if it does coast off of that a little bit from initial hype, if the game was bad, people wouldn't stick around or still be talking about it to this day. And that's one of the mentalities that I think is kind of a bit of a pet peeve of mine, right?
Yeah.
Personally. I am a bit of an advocate for the ¿por qué no los dos mentality?
Yeah.
It's like, if you like Halo, great. If you like Call of Duty, great. If you like Zelda, Metroid, if you like horror games like Silent Hill, if you like indie games like Balatro, great. That doesn't mean that you can't like anything else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, like, you like, it's the,
I don't understand why fan bases get so tribal sometimes.
Exactly. It's the, what's it called? Oh, so you hate pie argument.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm more of a cake guy. Oh, so you hate pie then? No! I like pie!
Yeah, nobody thinks like that.
I like pie, but, like, that doesn't mean I don't like cake. I love Zelda. That doesn't mean I don't like, FIFA.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Now,
¿Por qué no los dos?
Now I
Just let people enjoy things.
Yeah. I happen to think Breath of the Wild is a better game than Horizon Zero Dawn, but I'm not going to, like, die on that hill if somebody likes it. I don't care if someone disagrees with me on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's my opinion. What's not my opinion is that Breath of the Wild is a good game.
And
I think that's fact.
And I'm also going to sit here and, like, not pretend like, oh, well, like, oh, do you actually think, like, Breath of the Wild broke new ground with things? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it did in some cases, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it wasn't inspired by things like, oh, say, The Elder Scrolls.
It did those things better than a lot of other things.
Yeah.
I think. And it repackaged it into something that connected with audiences. And that's hard to do.
But that doesn't also mean that, like, I don't appreciate where those ideas come from. I love Skyrim. Yeah. I love Oblivion. Like, we all had to start somewhere. Like,
There's plenty
nothing is original anymore. Like, that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's like, nothing is original, but things can still be innovative.
Yeah.
Everything is inspired by something, and that's a mentality I feel more people need to understand. Is there a trick to fucking getting this fish? Because, I'm trying to bait it, I'm trying to, like, lure it and everything, and it's just not biting! Bite the goddamn hook! Shut up! Fucking plane.
I don't know if that plane's gonna show up on the mic, so it's not gonna sound like you're just yelling shut up at nothing. The easiest and fastest way to catch the loach is while it is in the lily pads to the west of the pond, which is its starting position. While there, the loach will always follow the movement of the lure, unlike when it is in the middle of the pond.
Oh?
Interesting.
This I did not know. I'm also noticing that the fish are suddenly getting a lot more active. The lily pads on the right?
On the west.
On the west. Let me snag this guy real quick.
I love that it's like the enemy music.
I know.
And you're just like reeling in a fish. Okay, so I guess when it's in the lily pads, it's for whatever reason more susceptible to following the lure.
Okay.
Get out of here. Get out of here, other fish. Come on, fishy. Yeah, fishy, fishy, fishy. Wish you could just, like, grab it there like a bear.
I know, right?
That's how you fish in a Breath of the Wild. You just swim up to the fish and hit A.
Pretty much. Not in this case, we gotta do it legit. Yeah, this is trickier than I thought.
Now, there are plenty of games that, you know, don't have that kind of brand recognition that probably deserve more people to look at it.
Oh, that I totally agree with. As a matter of fact, one game that I feel did suffer a little bit from brand hype, that didn't get the attention it deserved at the time was Legend of Dragoon, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
One title that, if I recall correctly, released around the same time around Final Fantasy VIII. And because of the, like, notoriety that Final Fantasy VII had, with, you know, how that whole game turned out, obviously, a lot of the attention was kind of taken away from Legend of Dragoon, which is a shame because that game is legitimately amazing.
The original Psychonauts, I think, was, yeah, kind of panned upon its original release, unfortunately. So I don't think you're so much trying to, like, it's not that you need to stand in the lily pads, it's that...
Got it!
Alright. Fuck me, I guess.
Ah, but I can't see it now.
And then into Super Mario 64.
This thing's a fucking fighter.
Because I think both of those songs are Koji Kandu.
Yes, I believe so, and I think they follow kind of like a similar motif.
Yeah.
I am hoping to God I don't lose it. Because you can lose it. Come on.
It's not like the fish get tired, is it? Oh!
Yup. As I thought. Penny, are you freaking...
Penny was very upset.
Oh my
that
gosh.
she's not included in this song.
I gotta find it again.
You know, it was crazy when we had Nugget. Nugget would scratch at the door sometimes when we were recording.
Yeah?
She got really... Oh, no, yeah, I brought her in a few times for, like, Fire Emblem, I think.
Yeah, no, you and I have had situations where, we did bring her in a couple times.
Yeah. For anybody who didn't follow me on Blue Sky and get the announcement, Nugget did sadly pass away
Yeah.
a month ago. Because some of you guys, I'm sure there's some of you guys who knew about Nugget, but
Yeah.
aren't, like, following the play-by-play, but still maybe liked her. Yeah, I miss her a lot, but she was 15 years old. She, died at a ripe old age. Happened pretty quick, so she wasn't suffering for long.
Mm-hmm.
And we waited about a month.
I can't find it anymore. Does it despawn?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I don't see it anymore.
Do you want to try just resetting the lake, and then you can try and get it right when it's in the lily pads, because that's its starting position, apparently.
I will try that. Let me go ahead and reset.
Yeah, you have the money to, do it to start it over.
Man, I had it! Ugh. Yeah, this is gonna be an entire episode of just trying to get this gosh darn Loach.
We're 30 minutes in already, yeah.
Christ. Has it really been 20 minutes and we've been talking like all that time?
30 minutes.
30? Wow.
I mean, some of that time we didn't start right when I hit the clock, so it's been a little shorter than that, but...
Right. Still, dang.
I think that's it.
Is that it? No, that's
No.
way too small.
But yeah, it was too quiet here, and we're just dog people. We knew we
There it is.
were gonna be getting another dog soon, so now we have Penny. She's just turned 7 months old.
Got it!
She's also a rescue because we're dog rescuers, and she's a very good girl.
Yeah. No, Penny's a sweetheart. She also has this, really, really cute, fur pattern on her face that makes it look like she's always smiling.
Yeah, she has the Heath Ledger "Why So Serious" smile on her face.
Super cute.
I would let her in, but she's a crazy puppy right now.
Yeah, she's a little rambunctious.
I think she would just steamroll through here, probably pull cords out of the mic, and
Mm-hmm.
what's crazy, getting a little deep here while you, to distract the audience from you struggling with this fish. So it's really interesting how, because I really miss my Nug. She was my baby girl.
Oh,
Penny
yeah.
is also my baby girl. And it's funny how, and I've been grieving, and I, kind of miss Nugget more now that we have Penny, even though I love Penny very much. And it's funny how, like, having another dog, you know, you can have both of these feelings simultaneously, that
Oh, yeah.
it's, you know, having a dog is reminding me of all the things I miss about Nugget, even though I like the things about Penny just as much.
Mm-hmm.
Which, therapist told me is, like, actually super normal and happens with a lot of people when they get new dogs. And even, like, parents who lose a child and then, like, have another child, there's, like, this chance of, like, feeling a lot of ennui over the old one, even though you're very excited for the new one.
That's remarkable, actually. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, and grieving is a crazy thing. It doesn't happen linearly. You could do the 5 stages thing, but they don't necessarily happen in order, and the stages don't necessarily all happen once.
Yeah, it's a theory for a reason.
Yeah. There's like an updated version of that now, too. Oh, come on, man, come on!
Oh! A real lunker! The 18 pounds!
Very nice. Maybe the Hylian Loach is...
Woo! Do you want to keep it?
For the love of God,
Arrow
yes.
is on yes. Woo!
If you hit no, I would, like, save state rewind us to it. We're not doing that again.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Woo! Fuck.
What do you
Weigh
want?
my fish.
Whoa! This fish is huge! It looks like a new record! It weighs at least 18 pounds! Seriously! Okay, here's your prize.
The golden scale.
Jump into the water and press A. Now you can dive much deeper than you could before.
Whew, okay. Yeah, compared to the one before, where that was like a whole, like, that was a 10-minute thing, I think, the last time when we were a
Yeah.
kid. This was a 35-minute endeavor.
Well, it was double the mass of the first fish.
Christ. Hi, Navi. Let's look for someone who might know about the other sages. We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay, do you want to hit a few Skullus here?
Oh, are they available?
Yeah, one of them actually is back on the island above the water temple.
Oh, I think I know.
We need to go up to that tree at nighttime.
Alright, that's easy enough.
And then there's another one in the marine biology lab that we can get with the iron boots.
Perfect. And as a matter of fact, we need to go to the marine biology lab anyway. I'm actually curious.
Yeah, later there's also a heart piece we can get there when we're a kid. And for that one, since you can't use the iron boots as a kid, you need the golden scale. And that's the only reason why we have to collect the golden scale, is to get that piece of heart.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any sort of real application to the golden scale aside from that.
Not really, no. I guess it can make it a little bit easier to, like, take the underwater passage and stuff between Lake Hylia and Zora's Domain.
Maybe, but, like, there's not really a reason
Yeah,
to do
like,
that.
if you're really bad at diving, I guess it can help you to have more time. So you're gonna want a long shot. Yeah, I think if you do it right, you should be able to long shot yourself to stand on top of the branch.
Oh, is that how you do it?
I think so. Because I think you'll grapple to whatever point you click.
Huh.
Okay, well, you see the vision.
Go figure. I never knew that.
Okay, you're gonna want to carefully walk up this branch now, I think.
Oh, you know what? I see. Sweet.
Okay, wise guy. How you getting down?
You're gonna be upset if I try to just fall on the floor, aren't you?
Maybe a little bit. Not my hearts, though.
Nice.
Oh, wow. I thought that was gonna be too high to roll.
Okay. You win this one.
Did you actually want me to get hurt?
Well, no, but... You've done weirder things.
Fair enough.
You're taking the bridge again.
I don't always want to swim, Navi.
It's easy for Navi because Navi's unaffected by water. She just kind of flies through it and doesn't need to breathe air anyway.
That actually has always, like, raised a question that I was curious about. Does Navi have a tangible body? Or is she just light?
She must have a tangible body because she runs into the fence.
Fair.
But I think she can kind of ignore a lot of things.
Hello there, son. I'm researching the process of making medicine by mixing Lake Hylia's water with various unusual compounds. Perhaps you've met that old lady from the potion shop. She's like a student of mine.
Alright, so if we take the iron boots down there, I think I know where it is. It's in a crate, isn't it?
Yep.
Which, by the way, this also brings up another thing since we're down here. The
Ta-da!
frick is that thing?
It's a shark.
Yeah, clearly. What's it doing down here?
It's shark.png. Very low resolution PNG.
Extremely. Alright, and that pretty much settles that. I think that's about the last thing we can do right now. I think?
I mean, you can turn into... We could go back to the Temple of Time. Do you want to take the, Kojiro to, Lost Woods?
I actually would like to do that as a whole episode, so I think that's something we're going to do next time.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you brought up the Temple of Time. I think now's a good time to go back to that for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, there's a few things we need to do as a kid, so...
We might as well go ahead and handle that now. So let's go ahead and call Epona.
Were we supposed to go to... I forget how, Shadow Temple quest works. Are we supposed to go to Kakariko as a adult first? To find out that we need to go back as a kid?
Maybe? Oh, you know what? I have an idea. She might have something new to say.
Yeah.
Link! This is Saria. Can you hear me?
Oh, let me try that again.
Wow.
One B button and it just goes like all quick.
If all 6 sages come together, we can imprison Ganondorf, the king of evil, in the sacred realm. But in order to make a perfect seal, we need the 7th sage. Someone you know must be that sage, Link. From now on, you must travel between past and future to awaken the remaining sages. Keep up the good work, Link.
That's our hint.
Okay.
So that basically tells us, hey, that's probably our cue to head back to the Temple of Time.
Sounds good.
So yeah, let's go ahead and have that be our last thing, and I need to be moving in order to get you to do the thing, right?
Okay.
There we go.
While we're going, then, maybe keep an eye out for Big Poe.
Oh, good idea.
Because we need to start collecting those for a bottle.
Alright, do they show up in general, or does it need to be nighttime?
I think they could show up during the day.
Well, we're about to find out.
Pona is not cooperating.
This is just me not really being all that good with the controls yet. There we go. How many Big Poes do we need?
We'll need 10.
Ay, mama.
Yeah, and each one takes up a bottle, so we're gonna have to make quite a few trips.
Well, I suppose that's something we can just do, like, casually as we're heading down. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye out for it now. Because I know there's one maybe around here?
The last time we saw one, it was roughly around here. Oh.
Oh, I had to get off of Epona at that point, huh? But, I want to try something. Oh.
No, this needs silver gauntlets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Changing from day to night was a thing you didn't see too often in games at this time.
That's true. Although... No, there was...
There were other games I can think of, but not a lot. And not so, not usually so, like, dynamically.
Not like this. My immediate thought of a game that maybe did it at the earliest point was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
Yeah. I dare say this is a little smoother than what Simon's Quest does.
I mean, there's a lot of things about Simon's Quest that are not quite as smooth as some things we get now. That's for certain. Even back then, Simon's Quest was kind of a weird game. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye out for them, but I know they spawn in that one point.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the more annoying tasks for us.
Well, if that's just how it be, then that's just how it be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I chose a bad time to just get off of Epona. Oh well. Let's go ahead to the Temple of Time and we can call it an episode there.
I think the whole reason they break the drawbridge here is to keep you from taking Epona into Castletown.
I also imagine it's so that we can actually go into the place at day or night.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, you guys go. You guys stay away from me. But yeah, I believe if we go in here, we're going to not only meet a familiar face, but we're going to learn one more song. Yup. Hey. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage. But there are still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all of the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater, and even through time.
Yeah, so this scene can happen anytime after the Forest Temple.
If you want to return to your original time, return the Master Sword to the Pedestal of Time. By doing this, you will travel back in time 7 years. The time will come when you will have to return here quickly. I will teach this to you for when that time comes. The song to return to the Temple of Time, the Prelude of Light. Sorry. There we go.
It's harder with the C-stick.
It really is. That's gonna be a thing. That's been a thing since the start. And there we go. As long as you hold the Ocarina of Time and the Master Sword, you hold time itself in your hands. Link, we shall meet again. Whoa, that was different.
It was. You didn't try to stop him that time.
I guess I've kind of accepted the fact that if he wants to get away, he will.
Fair enough.
And I believe that's our cue to go ahead and end things off. So, thank you guys for joining us for episode 20?
Yes.
Of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm the Green Scorpion.
I'm the ComicFoil.
And in the next episode, I don't know if we're going to go back in time just yet. We got some side questing to do.
Oh, now you want to do side questing. Well, we were busy fishing.
we were going to do more, but that High Loach was being a bit of a...
Oh man, I had like the perfect send-off ready, but now it doesn't work.
What?
I was gonna say, see you guys earlier. Doesn't make sense now. We're not going back in time.
Well, I'm sorry. Priorities.
I'll fetch you later, because we're gonna be doing the fetch quests.
There you go. You got it. 10 out of 10.
Thank you. Remember when she did that awesome dive last episode?
10 out of 10.
Underrated Zelda cutscene.